Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you. I am your host, Summer Punch, and with me, we've got Chuck.
What's up, everyone?
And Centel.
Man, you already know what's cracking. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm glad to be here and alive. I was just in Vegas for the weekend. I have survived. I've survived.
Oh.
Right. I'm strong. I survived the partying. I had a good time. I'm a little sleepy though, so forgive the low energy if that comes through.
Hey, Rodney, we're not on screen.
Uh-oh.
We
Can
are
they hear us
not.
on
We're
TV,
not on screen. I was
YouTube?
looking. I was like, oh, we're behind the
We are
screen.
not.
Oh, I think they can't hear us.
Can you still hear
They
us?
can't see us. They can hear us, but they can't see us. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, people,
It's all right.
y'all hear us? We're like voices of God talking to you.
See,
Just
it'll just
welcome
be
to
like
Mount
the
Olympus.
podcast. Straight to podcast.
Right? Right.
We over here getting our John Cena on. You can't see us.
Mm-hmm.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched while we over here just BSing. I rewatched oh my gosh. Oh, I
Peacemaker?
forgot the Free Guy. I rewatched Free Guy and it still holds up. It's a really
here.
good
Yeah.
movie.
We're live.
Man.
What's Free Guy? Sorry, I don't even know Free Guy.
Free
All
Guy
right,
is the
Free Guy.
Ryan Reynolds movie
Yeah.
where he's a
Oh.
video game character.
Ah,
It's
really?
good. Yeah.
It's
good.
really good. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I
Yeah,
love,
it's on
like, video
HBO
game
Max.
movies. I feel like I
Yeah.
have to. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's good? It's fun?
Yeah.
Is it like good
Yeah,
or is
it's
it just
fun.
funny?
It's
I
good.
think you'll really enjoy
It's
it because,
good.
Okay.
because you're in that world. I think you'll
Uh-huh.
really enjoy it.
It's about it's about an open world game where character AI has evolved, and he's one of the evolved AI characters.
I like that. I
And
like
it's
the
also about a
concept.
gaming. It's also about a gaming company as well that
Mhm.
is a little sketchy in what they do.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have some relevant news for that. But first, let's talk about Russia and Disney. Yes, they are in the news right now. So Disney and Warner Brothers will pause releasing films in Russia. So in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Disney has decided to take a stand, and the company has released a statement on Monday explaining that it won't be releasing any films there for the foreseeable future, beginning with the Pixar's Turning Red. And then a few hours later, Warner Brothers did the same thing with The Batman. So it's a quote by the company saying, given the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and a tragic humanitarian crisis, we are pausing the release of theatrical films in Russia, including the upcoming Turning Red from Pixar, with a statement released by Disney. They continued on to say that we will make future business decisions based on the evolving situation. And in the meantime, given the scale of the emerging refugee crisis, we are working with our NGO partners to provide urgent aid and other humanitarian assistance to refugees. So Disney was the first studio to take such a stance on Russia. Then a few hours later, Warner Brothers joined in, and we'll stay tuned if anybody else hops on board. What do you guys think? Should businesses be getting involved in geopolitics, or is it like none of their business, or is it like a good use of their power?
I mean, you can go first, Intel. You can go first.
I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it's good for branding. You know, whether you
Mhm.
care or don't is irrelevant to the fact that people will notice and then, pay attention to your brand a lot more. So from a money standpoint, yeah, it's smart. It's absolutely smart to play on the heartstrings of people, be it war, poverty, starvation, whatever it is that you want to. If it's bopping on headlines, you can make money off of it. So
Mhm.
Oh my
it's
God,
smart.
you're such a Care Bear in like normal conversations, but when it comes to business, you become like fucking ruthless. It's so like it's so out of character, but also so consistent with you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Two-Face.
Dude, never get on the other side of a table from us and tell. Watch the fuck out. He'll get you.
Like, do it for business. About the
I'm
business.
saying it's
When money's
good
involved.
business.
It is. It's
good
about the
business.
business. What I actually believe is that they're cherry picking at this point, right? There's crises that happen all around the planet, usually
Yeah.
involving brown to black folks that they're in crisis, and they never do this. They never do this. They never did it in China, where the ethnic minority are getting killed
Yeah,
or
you took it to where I was
prosecuted.
going to ask.
You know, they're not doing it in the Middle East where it happens, or whatever African country we can
Absolutely
pick
not.
right now that's internally crisis, where they're slaughtering
Absolutely
their
not.
citizens,
Well,
or whatever Latin American country that they're doing this in. And if I had to go really deep,
mhm.
you need to pull all the movies out of Israel at this time until the Palestinian-Israel conflict gets resolved. If that's the case,
which will never happen. So,
which will never.
yeah,
happen.
that's just I mean, well,
it would never happen.
You know,
but
it'll never happen.
You know, it's
That's
like
why
the
it's a
prime
good
minister.
business move.
The prime minister of Ukraine said, you know, this is an issue because it's happened to white people with white skin with blue eyes, which is not true for that country. That country is mostly all types, color skin, white skin with brown eyes and brown hair, which is even more interesting. Like, you put yourself in that group, you're not even in that group, really. You're not really in that group. But,
yeah,
you know.
But I also want to be clear and also be extremely clear for our viewers. What's going on in Ukraine is absolutely horrible.
Oh, like, horrible.
Let's absolutely be clear. But, you know, if we're stepping outside and just generating in the spirit of conversation and you're talking about business interacting with it, then, you know, there's just very harsh and real realities as to why they do these things.
Can we talk about the Ukrainian president Zelensky for a second? Have you guys seen this guy? What a fucking badass. He's like, a comedian, there's like reports on him, like apparently the US called him up and they're like, we can evacuate you, and he's like, I don't need a ride, I need some fucking ammunition.
That's what he said.
Like, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, he's a comedian or actor who got elected in the position. And he's like, look, we're ride or die. I mean, we fought Russia 3 times in the history that we've been around. So this is just enough. This is the 3rd time we're fighting Russia. So we're going to be here. Some of us going to be here. I hate the treatment that racism shows its ugly head in the Ukraine with the pushing of Black people out of spaces to be safe and to escape the country. Because the whole entire time they've been trying to kick them out. The whole entire time. And this is the time to kick them out then. You know, you can let all the Black people leave and never let them back in again if that's your problem. If you have a problem with Black and brown people being there. Yeah.
I've heard reports where, exactly. I've heard the same kind of reports where Ukrainians are trying to escape just being refugees across their borders, but Ukrainians of African descent or Africans that had immigrated to Ukraine were not being let out of the country, which is crazy. It's crazy. What? Because why? There's no real justification for that. No. That's wild.
You feel those, you looked at people with children, small children, you let all the Ukrainian children on, all the native Ukrainians on, and you looked at the Black people and said, nah, you and your kids can't come on.
Eventually they did get through, at least from the reports that
they are getting through. Eventually. They're walking to the border, a hard time. But walking across Ukrainian winter has to be the worst.
I can't. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Anyway, I just hope that Disney and Warner Brothers have that same energy for other conflicts that occur. You know,
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I think you're right. I think it's like if they're gauging that it's a popular sentiment in the Western world, that determines whether they'll probably support it or not, and take action. And white people tend to care about white people's issues. So,
it's war shows very ugly truths.
It does show very ugly truths.
It's just this is war, and we're going to see a lot of things. It's going to make you cringe. A lot of things is going to make you uncomfortable because people are in desperate situations, and you do whatever it takes, regardless of how somebody feels about it. Unfortunately,
So moving on to some other news, the Gaming Awards show host gets on stage and says, "Fuck you, Bobby Kotick." So some spicy language at the Game Awards. Well, Bobby Kotick. So anyway, so the DICE Awards, the video game industry's Oscar equivalent, or you could say the Video Game Awards is, I don't know. It's a little debatable in my opinion. It was held last night. A bunch of games took home trophies, including Hazelight Studios' It Takes Two, which won its 2nd Game of the Year award. But arguably, that wasn't the night's biggest news. No. So what folks are waiting for was to find out what kind of mess might happen on stage. Earlier that day, before the event even unfolded, Kind of Funny co-founder and industry hype man Greg Miller stated on Twitter that he would use his airtime in front of the industry's top developers to make enemies, quote unquote. So Bethesda executive producer Todd Howard opens up the night with a monologue about the turmoil and the uncertainty in the world, particularly as the horrific events unfold in Ukraine. He talks about the world and The Sims before handing the stage over to Greg Miller and then co-host Jessica Chobot. things got a little bit spicy from there. And as Miller called out Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick.
Oh, that
after
dude.
joking,
Okay.
Yeah, after joking about Cyberpunk 2077, Metroid Dread, and NFTs, Kind of Funny co-host or co-founder Greg Miller said, "Fuck you, Bobby Kotick." Get this. To claps. I think he was expecting a different reaction, but the crowd went fucking wild. Claps and cheers from the audience. It was a brief but critical moment, especially since the Game Awards host Jeff Keighley was criticized for refusing to overtly name names in December. So what do you guys think about this? Is this a good use of airtime or a bad use of airtime?
I guess, I mean, he knew he was going to, I think he knew he was going to hit some claps, because I don't know any developers or anybody on the publishing side that defends Bobby Kotick. I don't know a single individual. I don't.
Indefensible.
I know. Yeah. He's
a real slime ball.
Yeah. Like, he's the only person that will take home $100 million bonus, then fire half of every studio because it looks good on the books. Because it looks good for business. He brings exactly that Centel sentiment. It looks good on business. Let's go quarters at the end. Let's go years at the end. Cut them.
Company one day.
Yeah.
I hope you do if you want to.
Yeah, so
I really am nice though.
I mean, Bobby at this point probably just laughs about all this. You know, I think his ego and his narcissism. He's like, yeah, they talked about me at the Video Game Awards. I was the thing that got the most cheers. I think that's how Bobby felt. Bobby probably feels like, yeah, I was the thing that got the most cheers at the Video Game Awards. Haters going to hate. Haters going to hate.
He strikes me as the type that any attention, be it positive or negative, he's going to thrive with. So, you know, I'm sure he's not. Yeah, I'm sure he's not heartbroken.
Yeah.
I hope he stays radioactive for the rest of his life, though. And nobody wants to go near him or touch him. I hope that happens to him.
Yes.
So Greg Miller told Kotaku via email while he was preparing to debate the show's producers and writers about including such a clear critique in their speech, he not only didn't have to, but he was also praised for being so upfront. So as we got closer and closer to the DICE Awards, I knew that I wanted to monologue to say something real about both NFTs and the abuse that's been allowed to run rampant in the industry, Miller said. I had seen Jeff get blowback from the Game Awards for not naming names, so I was prepared to fight and get stuff like this in. As for the crowd, I didn't expect that they would go so hard, Miller continued. There was an unusual smattering of laughter and groans, and there was the addition of stunned silence, which I fucking love. Everyone who approached me afterwards said that they loved it and stood by the message. Nobody told me I was wrong. That's great. Quote from Greg Miller. So good for that guy. I feel like he said the obvious, but it's nice to see somebody say it just out loud in such a dominant role, a presence that's so visible. And also it's kind of cool to hear that he got that reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he's alone.
Nah, I don't think he's alone. I think the game industry knows. This is a guy that ran a tyrannical empire under Activision. I mean, studios wanted to make a bunch of other versions of games, and he could turn around and made 7 studios work on Call of Duty. Like, this fiscally, it makes sense. I know you want to make your own game, but we'll make Call of Duty here. And prior to that, he was like, we make Guitar Hero here, and he kills whole entire genres.
Yeah, he really does. So on to some other gaming news. Naomi Osaka is going to be featured in Fortnite, said The Verge. So the tennis star and noted Overwatch fan Naomi Osaka will be joining the Battle Royale with 2 different character skins that go on sale starting March 3rd. So just in a couple of days. One outfit has some clear tennis influences, while the other is called the Dark Priestess outfit. And both come with an assortment of matching accessories. Osaka will be showing off her in-game character a bit early when she streams on Twitch with Twitch star Berlizzi on March 1st at 7 p.m. Oh, that's right. No, that's in a few days.
That's tomorrow. Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? I don't know.
It's tomorrow. Today's the 28th. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting though, because usually Fortnite, I mean, this is a typical thing for Fortnite to do in that it features characters from all sorts of IPs, from movies, from other video games, just like whatever they think is popular in the moment, they'll throw it in Fortnite as a skin and sell it. And it works for them. But I actually don't know if they have ever done just a real person. It's usually characters from a game or a movie. Do you know of any other real people, or is this a first time thing?
They did Tom Holland and LeBron and Neymar.
Yeah, I was about to say they definitely did LeBron.
Athletes.
Yeah.
So this is the first I've heard of it. I think this is the first woman character that's been real. You can play.
I think so.
Laura Croft.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? What Fortnite reminds me of when I was.
You say Laura? She's not a real person, Summer.
She's real to me, Chuck. All right. She's real to me.
Okay. She's real.
Watch
real.
your
My
mouth.
fault.
Oh, I was gonna say, you know what this reminds me of? Back in my day, before we had video games and these kids being dancing on it and everything, I saw my stars on Wheaties boxes and I loved it. And every single month, I think it was like every couple of months, it was a new star on the Wheaties box. And even though Wheaties, I don't know anybody that's like over the moon on Wheaties. It's not the world's greatest cereal by any means, but you got the box because it had Jordan on it or I don't know, Stephanie Graf or whoever it is. And it was must see. Like, it was like you would get excited as a kid to walk down the cereal aisle to see who was on the Wheaties box. Fortnite is like this generation's Wheaties box, but not just
That's
that.
good. I like that, actually.
I totally disagree with you. There's never been a chance where I said I wanted Wheaties. I always wanted a Cookie Crunch.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody wanted
Cocoa
Wheaties.
Puffs. Not Cocoa Puffs, but I wanted Fruity Pebbles. Those are the two cereals that I wanted. And my mom would never get them. Never get them.
I never even had Wheaties.
Yeah,
That's so funny because like I've never met anybody that said they like Wheaties either, but even I know about Wheaties.
Yeah, I know about Wheaties boxes though.
Like, you know about the Wheaties. I love that company, like way back when, they're like, we're gonna have one marketing strategy and we're gonna go so fucking hard on that strategy.
We'll have Muhammad Ali on the Wheaties box.
I mean, that's when you knew you made it, right?
Only the way we're gonna do this.
As an athlete, you knew you made
if you were an athlete, it wasn't Sports Illustrated, the cover. It wasn't like, I can't think of anything that held a higher prestige as a kid than being on the Wheaties box if you were an athlete.
It's true.
That just kills me because like, imagine like how slow content must have had to roll out for people to be excited for like a consumer products goods package to have a star on there. You know, like it's like news gets to people faster. Other things happen faster, but like that's generally the pace of things back then. And I think that's hilarious.
I find this story kind of interesting too, because she's an Overwatch fan. And Fortnite, it was like, let's put her in the game. Overwatch ain't going to do it. They're not going to make a character for her. We'll make a character for her.
And so you see the Fortnite producers are also making essentially like a sideways, like limited dig at Bobby Kotick too. Like, oh, you think you own Blizzard? No, we don't care. We're going to have her too.
We're going to have her too. She loves your game, but she's going to be in ours.
Well, until Fortnite does something stupid, like I'm kind of down with this strategy. It's kind of fun to see how mainstream video games are getting when they have just like mega stars. And you know, I think you're right, Sital. You kind of nailed it on the head. You know, like it's the new hot thing. It's the new Wheaties.
It's the new Wheaties. Fortnite's the new Wheaties. That's it right there. Hot take.
All right, so to any of you guys who had watched last Monday where I accidentally told myself and said that I had been watching TikTok and frequently get the hour-long notifications of like, you need to go get a fucking drink, walk around a little bit. It tells me to stop watching its own app. Okay, well, it's about to get worse because TikTok is expanding its maximum video length to 10 minutes now. So instead of 1 hour notifications, I'm probably getting 10-hour notifications. We'll see. I will report back later. I don't know how good this is for people, but it's basically bringing it. I don't know. To me, it seems like TikTok is like a short, fast, like ADD version of YouTube. But if we have 10-minute videos now,
that's Quibi.
I don't know.
That's Quibi.
Is that Quibi?
Yeah, I don't know.
Quibi was 10 to 13, was anywhere from 7 to 13 minutes was a Quibi, quick bite. And it went under. But this is going to work because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, episodes. There's a lot of really bad Black productions on YouTube that are hilarious.
Yes.
And they're all 10 minutes long. And it's hilarious. Like what's the one that's really big? The Court is like, what's the Court? It's Council Court. They have one called Council Court. And Council Court is hilarious. Like,
isn't that how Issa Rae got started too? Like she made Awkward Black Girl on as a YouTube series.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of low budget Black content that's funny or really good. And I think it'll work well on this TikTok format.
I disagree.
What?
Because I disagree. Because the reason why TikTok is good is because it attracts folks, my tribe, people that have ADHD. And people in my tribe don't want to sit and watch a 10-minute show. We have to have a dopamine boost. And that dopamine boost is around that 30-second mark or however long it is on TikTok. And then once that happens and that dopamine doesn't kick in, you don't want somebody that's in my tribe to be like, well, let's see what's on another app. You can't get off of that app if it's every 20 seconds. It's like, boom, another hit. Boom, another hit. Boom, another hit. You change that up, you're leaving space for people to walk away from your platform. If you want content that's over, 2 minutes, I don't know how long the content is on TikTok, whatever it is, they found the magic number. If you want something to go past whatever that magic number is, then go to YouTube.
Would they make another category though? Like how they do their live videos? Because people watch their live videos for hours. People are alive there. Like, the boys that go, I'm an island boy. Try them. Those blue boys, those twins go live on.
Oh, the island boys, yeah. Those guys
and they're live for hours. And all they're doing is talking. People make fun of them. They're okay with people making fun of them. They don't care. They're like, oh, let's play this game. And like whoever gets the most likes wins, whatever gets the most emojis wins. I don't know how they play it. But people watch them for hours lose over and over again.
Yeah, you're right. So I see your points, Intel, too, about like if you make it too long, you're going to lose people's interest. But like, isn't that what they said about YouTube too? When like they extended like the average video length or the video upload length. I remember that being a thing with YouTube, and then people kept watching YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just make it a category. I understand what you're saying. You want that quick bite, like that 1 minute, 2 minute. You keep those, you slide to the right, and you got the 10-minute long videos. You slide again, you got the live videos. Because you see a 10-minute video, you just go right through it until you get to your next 2-minute video.
I can imagine it being implemented in a way where, it probably doesn't have the highest views, but it's a way for people to go a little bit deeper with the content creators that they love, right? So it's not like 10-minute views are typically on the For You page, which is like the main page that is like shuffling and requests or suggesting things to you. But if you see something that you really like, then maybe content creators will link to a longer video or intro to a longer video, or say like, this is part 1 of a 10-minute long video that you have to see in the next thing. And it'll basically be a way for people to just get to know their favorite creators a little bit more. That's what I predict. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing though. It'll probably be a bad thing because it'll probably work. It's TikTok. They're pretty good at keeping your attention.
You know what? You know who used to be really good at keeping customers coming in and had no competition whatsoever is McDonald's. They're still doing very well. Very, 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 very well. But there was a time where people were complaining that there was too many items on the menu. And people were confused. People get frustrated. When people get confused and frustrated, they make different choices. There is another hamburger company in Los Angeles, if you're not in Los Angeles, that people love and rave over it. What's it called?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Yes.
In-N-Out has maybe 20 things on their menu total, maybe about 20. And it really hasn't changed.
Not even
that. They have like 10.
It's like 10, right? It's like 10. Now the food there is all right, so it's okay. But there's something about going into In-N-Out, knowing that is going to remain the same. It's remained the same so much that if you do want something different, you have to almost whisper to them like there's some kind of secret agent and tell me about the secret menu. Because they don't want to disrupt the thing that made them famous and popular and beloved. A lot of it has to do with that menu and the thrill of waiting in line, which is the oddest thing to me in the world, but it works. TikTok is McDonald's adding more to the menu.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Instagram did that too. Instagram added more to the menu. They spun up a separate app, Instagram TV, which they're killing.
There's news on that. Yeah, they're killing Instagram TV as a separate app. Which is silly because I didn't even know they had a second app.
I don't think anybody knew something.
I didn't either. It ain't just you. I was like,
does Instagram's move lately? Do they scream like desperation to you because they're like, ooh, TikTok is doing this like video thing, so we're gonna have Instagram TV. Okay, it doesn't work. Somehow I can never get the audio on. But they always
done that, right? When Vine did it, they did it when Vine did it, and Meerkat. They like, oh, let's just copy what's out there. Oh, Snapchat's doing it. Let's do what Snapchat does.
There's a copycat. They're not innovating anymore. They're just trying to to just like save and protect their market share.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's becoming less cool as a result of it.
Because you got to understand, they beat
hard.
Snapchat for Instagram stories, because Instagram stories is just Snapchat.
Right, yeah.
Kind of beat them.
Yeah, they did. They kind of brutalized Snapchat for a while. But Snapchat is still around. I mean, people still use it. Teenagers are still using it as like one of their main messaging platforms too. So in another silly gaming news, an incredibly rare Pokemon is card auction off for a record-breaking $900,000. $900,000. And I love it when these stupid like headlines come up where for some reason we just love to cover this shit because it's outlandish. It's like our interest taken to the fucking extreme, to the point where it is no longer healthy for you. But people will be spending almost $1 million on a Pokemon card. I hope they get some sort of return or that, or maybe they just like really fucking into Pokemon. I mean, I guess you have to be, but somebody actually did that. That's a real thing. It happened.
You know what's really bad about that?
What?
It's going to be one of those brothers. I'm not going to say their names. That like
the Island
like
Brothers?
boxing. No, one of those brothers that like boxing. Trey's
like fighting
friend.
bums.
Trey's
Don't put them people
one of the
me.
Paul brothers probably bought $900,000.
No, they are not invited to the cookout.
Watch me, one of them that bought it for $900,000. I don't know who did this. It was like near mint, like $900,000 is $1 million.
See, it's easy to just like dunk on these decisions and be like, this was a stupid choice with your money that you have apparently. But, you know, I assume that this person is going to sell it for more, but also like, that's probably, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like they wouldn't buy it if they didn't think somebody was going to buy it from them.
No,
right?
People buy things just to own things.
Nerds are crazy sometimes.
People buy things. I mean, people bought end-zone Ferraris and wrecked them the second day they had them too. They paid $1.5 million for a car and wrecked it the second day because you don't know how, because it's a race car that you shouldn't be driving. Like you shouldn't be driving this car. We understand you're gonna buy it, but you shouldn't be driving it.
You really know what you're doing right now. Listen, I was just in Target earlier today picking up some stuff, and I saw a sign on the door that said we are now allowing people to finally buy Pokemon cards. Because for a while, keep in mind, like a few months ago, we did a story regarding how Target is like, people are breaking in. People were like rappelling from the ceiling and throwing chairs through windows to get into Target to buy Pokemon cards. And Target was just like, yeah, we are done. We're not even selling them anymore because people were losing their minds. So now they're allowing you to, now they're like hidden behind a corner, like we're back where the cigarettes are. You got to have somebody on
in somebody's trench coat, you know,
guarding Pokemon cards. And they're only selling like 2 packs at a time. So the demand is out there. I mean, they're buying first edition unpackaged games of Zelda, and I think like Super Mario is another one that's sold. I forgot exactly which one it is. But the thing, what's going on with geek culture is what happened to hip hop in the early 90s. And that is, it is mainstream, it's hot, and it's not showing any signs of relenting. It's the new art. It's the new thing to show that you're hip and you're a little bit different. It's not as dangerous as hip hop, or it's perceivably dangerous as hip hop. But it's like a cancel culture. I mean, it's an anti-culture kind of thing, because this culture was looked down upon. Well, it was looked down upon, and now it's cool to be different.
Oh man, I'm in groups all day.
I don't know about that.
Teenagers mentoring teenagers. They'd be like, Charles, what anime you watching? And I'd be like, I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen again. They're like, bruh, why ain't you on One Piece? These are like 16-year-olds. Like, I'm not
cool born when One Piece came out.
Like, you weren't even, right? Like, what do you mean? These are 16-year-olds, and they're like, and some kids like, I don't watch anime. They'd be like, how you not watch anime? That's like not watching Star Wars. They're like, I don't watch Star Wars neither. They're like, whose man's is this? Whose man's they do that? They're like, this weirdo over here doesn't like any of this fiction stuff. I'm like, who's excited about Lord of the Rings? Half the class is like, hell yeah. And it's not the nerd class. These are like the jocks and whatnot. Like, you have to understand, most basketball players, young basketball players, a lot of their shoe selections, they actually name them after like Pokemon cards and whatnot. They're like, yeah, I got that Charizard color. That's that Charizard color. That Charizard orange.
Well, there is specifically a thing with Black nerds loving anime. Like, and you guys know all about this, right? Like, it's not, yeah.
I don't know any Black nerds that love anime.
You don't, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up here. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard you say. That is a lie.
That was a lie.
Sir, yes, you do. Sir, yes, you do. I remember one of the first like Facebook groups I ever joined was like Black Nerd Problems. And I was like,
Black Nerd Problems?
Yeah.
Well, he just, since I just got up, he was like,
yeah. I loved that group. And I was like, this is really good. I like this. Like, I want to join this group. And then I realized it's like actually a huge thing. I didn't know that because there was like no Black people around me where I grew up. There was like 5, maybe, and a few Arabs. That's about it. But I remember like kind of going like into college and then a little bit like into early adulthood and realizing that like, oh, there's like a lot of Black nerds that are like into the same thing that I was. I don't know why that was. You guys know what is it about Black culture and like anime and nerd shit that like that it doesn't happen with white culture or other cultures quite as often?
I think it's predominantly Black middle class and working class culture in particular. It's because education's so pushed on us that we have to be smart. We have to be twice as good. I remember some of my most memorable days at Morehouse is going over to Kilgore Hall, which is the student center hall, and walking in the cafeteria. There's table tennis going on, and it's watching Voltron and Dragon Ball Z. Yep. And it is packed. It is packed. And then when Voltron becomes Voltron, everybody recites in unison the actual mantra of becoming Voltron. Like you hear it all the way outside. You hear it all the way outside down the street.
Thermoderms connected, intracells up. Mega thrusters out, go! You're like,
everybody gets excited. And it's just the thing. Thundercat and Beyond, and everybody does Thundercat song. It's just that we watch our heroes and they come from like nothing and we watch them succeed, and anime is unapologetic about that. It's usually the kid that's a loner that strives on their own and they blow up. They just blow up to be the man, and we love that because it reminds us of our stories.
Oh, I love that. Well, what a happy note to end on. All right. That concludes our show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Rodney, who has produced the show, made this thing flow. GeekBeast is now in podcast form as well. So have you missed our live stream? That's okay. You can listen to us on the following day on Apple Podcasts now, Spotify, or wherever you guys get podcasts. Subscribe and listen to us now. Do it now. No, okay. Guess do it tomorrow, but whatever. Just do it in general. Subscribe. All right, we're going to be out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.